Hello and welcome back. It is time to return to the villa. Okay, so transparently, this is take 3 of this. It is getting later and later, so whatever this is going to be is what it's going to be. So we're just going to go through the structure of the episode, and I'm going to give you guys the summary. Okay, the recap. Here it is. This fucking song lasts forever. Okay, this is how it opens, and they're lip syncing and they're singing, but not actually, because that's what lip syncing is, and they're doing the Macarena, but it's like a different version of the Macarena, and it goes on forever, and it's too long. Okay, we need to cut this. Let's cut this bit. It happened last season. We need to stop. We got to stop it. Okay, so then we kind of do the people are arriving. We got to come in. We got to meet everyone. So the first person we meet is Anaya. Okay. And so the thing about Anaya, here she is. She is a Nepo baby. Okay. Her dad was in the NBA. Her family runs a nonprofit and she's a marketing director. But then just self-admits that just means she's her mom's assistant. So like you've never worked. Sounds like you've never really worked. Okay. They were like, how long are you single? How long have you been single for? She has to count it out on her fingers. It's 6 months. Not that long. But cool. I live in my life, girl. I'm so excited for you. She's looking for her husband. Okay. And then after that, we meet Kenzie. Now, the thing about Kenzie is, my gosh, this girl, we're going to be mortal enemies. I'm calling it now. Kenzie and I are not going to be friends on this show. Okay, she just graduated nursing school. Thank you for those that are working in healthcare, but you're probably mean. You were probably mean in high school. But that's what my wife says, and I trust that. And then also on top of that, she can do the splits, and she tells us that and shows us that a lot, and her eyes always look crazy. She kind of looks like an 80s glam god, which is like slay, but she I'm calling it now. 1 week into this, within this first week, she's gonna have a mentee B. Maybe even next episode we might get that. She said some crazy things like that she is re-virginized because she hasn't had sex in a year and a half. What does that even mean? Okay, but she's literally giving the her eyes are huge all the time. Like she's like, I can't even describe it. It's distracting in every other scene. It's the only thing I actually notice. Then we meet Melanie, who, okay, I'm gonna be honest. In this opening, I was like, I don't know, girl, because she's like, I'm Dominican. I was like, slay. She's like, I work at a bikini store. I was like, slay. And then she's like, if you say you're a girl's girl, that's a red flag. I was like, whoa. She's like, you shouldn't have to say it. You should be about it. I was like, okay, I understand. I don't know if I agree with the delivery, but I'm willing to hear you out. But I'm iffy. And the other thing she said was she's ready to have however many kids her man wants to have. It could be a basketball team. Okay, that's like 5 kids. That's all right. I like that. It could be a baseball team. That seems like a lot. And then she said a football team. I'm like, sis, do you know how many offensive line? I mean, that's a roster. That is like 60 something. So I don't think she knows that much about sports or human physiology, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like, because she's from the East Coast. She loves the Eagles, which I don't like the Eagles, but that's fine. I'm willing to give you a chance. Then we meet my personal, I love her so much that I literally can't even remember how to say her name because I'm a piece of shit. But it's Beatriz, and wow, okay, she's funny, okay, she is accomplished, she's a 2-time Olympian bronze medalist, and she is sharp. Okay, this girl is freaking hilarious. She says she wants a man with a face mullet. That's questionable, but then she's like, you have to, when you have a disability, you have to know how to laugh. Like if I'm in a haunted house and the chainsaw guy comes out and he's like, I'm gonna cut you to pieces, and then she pulls off her legs and lifts it above her head. She's like, I'm already in pieces. Like, wow, she had some really good disability jokes. I can tell she's gonna be my favorite. I just hope she doesn't betray me. But yeah, love. So then we meet Trinity. She describes herself as the personality hire. Okay, she is 22. She's looking for a golden retriever. Personally, I think Trinity is stunning. I think she might be the most glam, stunning of the original Definitely giving though that she might be a little crazy at times, which I can support. And so then Ariana Madix comes in, and I always love this part because it's like you can tell who watches the Vanderpump Rules based on like their level of excitement when she comes in. I mean, she's stunning, she's gorgeous. I don't love this hairdo, but the dress slayed. She's a girl's girl, so I feel like she always brings good vibes. Like it's very, very good. And then she's like, let's bring in some men. And so we do. And so of course, first we start out with Sincere, who oh, he's a fuckboy. He is just a fuckboy. And unfortunately, though, there's something about his smile and his personality where I like him against my will. Against my will, I like this man, but I do. Now, to my credit, he said he was raised by his grandmother. And I don't know, he seems sincere. He's, no, again, against my will, I like this man. So he's on thin ice, but it's cute, and I don't know, I just kind of like it. He doesn't really say a lot, though, so there's nothing other to say than I don't trust him, but I do like him. And then we meet Bryce. Bryce is a self-described sensitive boy who is apparently bad with money. Like, he models, and so he talks about how, like, sometimes I have so much money from modeling, and then other times it's like I have no money. And so it's like, wait, are you bad at money? Okay, so you're just spending all your money on hair gel and then not applying it correctly. And then he also, apparently he's old, because apparently being 29 is old. He's gonna be 30 this year. No, he's not. He said he was born in 97, so he's clear. No, he said 96. So yep, he is gonna be 30 this year, and that's going to come back to bite him in this show. With these young kids, they don't like that. They're not looking for that. He seems boring, and like something is actually wrong with him. He reminds me of that guy. Oh, who's that crime? You know, in Criminal Minds, that guy that they all simp for, that's like, I'm a sociopath, but not No, not Dr. House. If you know what I'm talking about, that show that has crime in it, it's like, he reminds me of that guy. I'll find a picture of him for next, but he reminds me of that dude specifically, whatever his name is. Anyways, that's enough about Zach. Then we meet Sean, who in my brain is seen, and Zach. We meet Zach first, sorry. So we meet Zach, and Zach is off-brand Charlie from last season because he's his little brother. He was in a 4-year relationship, so that's pretty good. He says he's been single for 3 years, so that's pretty good. And then he says that he wants to be topped because he's lazy, because he just wants to lie there. So it was like good, and then it went bad. And then he's like, admits proudly that he loves One Direction, and that when he tells other girls that's what like is his in, and that's how he spits game. That's bizarre to me. I think if a 26-year-old man was like, I love One Direction, transparently, I'd probably be like, I think are you gay? And not in a derogatory way, just like I don't know. That's just an odd interest for me. But I'm not going to yuck your yum. Cream culture is dead. And he's gorgeous. Honestly, transparently, I think he's the most attractive man of the original cast. Look at this Greek god. We're going to circle back to that in a minute. But yeah, so that is Zach. And then we meet Sean. Now, the thing about Sean is he's a police officer, and he was in a relationship for 10 years, broke up, and then went crazy on the dating apps. And when he says crazy, he means it, because he literally was like, whoop, got a girl pregnant. So he has a 2-year-old kid, which is fine. We support parents way more than we support the police, but nobody else knows that. Now, I was like, oh God, is he going to pull a hoodah? Is no one else going to know about this baby? Is it going to be a secret? And he does sit on it for a minute, but is overall fairly transparent. So yeah, he's fine. I guess he's a man. And then we round this off with Casey, who at the beginning I thought was the most boring. By the end, he's probably going to be like my favorite dude after Sincere, because I am problematic. And so Casey, he says he's a player in the bedroom. He loves the chase, but he's ready to settle down for love. It's worth hanging up and giving up the game. He honestly, he kind of gives like I talk and act like I'm a fuckboy, but I'm not actually, because I don't have real game. Like, does that make sense? Like, he seems like I'm just saying, it's not giving I'm a real fuckboy. Yeah, it's definitely giving like I am not, but I want my friends to think I am. And so that is the cast. And so they hang out, they see, we're all talking. And then we go to our first makeout game of the season. So the idea behind this makeout game is that you have 3 doors with 3 options. Like the first one was cowgirl, missionary, and doggy. And so boys are on one side, girls are on the other, and you stand behind the door that is like your vibe. So it's like a compatibility test so that we can make out with whoever is on the other side of the door. Isn't that so exciting? And so and they do, and they really, really do. They really, really go for this. They're making out. There's so much tongue. They're like passing each other back and forth. It's honestly, it's obscene. It's gonna be tame compared to what we'll see the rest of the season. It'll get gross because they'll start involving food, and so this honestly was probably the most pleasing to watch, not in a weird way, that it will be this season. So not a lot to say here. A couple of notable mentions would be, now I think Sean really wins this one with his big dick energy. Okay, he's grabbing girls. He's putting their hands up against the wall, and all the girls are like, he's an amazing kisser. He's an amazing kisser. He's an amazing kisser. Like, we hear this a billion times, okay? And then he's like, yeah, I love doggy style because I love to grab the girl's hair, pull it, and then spit in their mouths. Sir, it is night 1 on national television. We didn't have to share that immediately. I mean, go for it, but I didn't want to know that about you, but thank you for sharing. Other notable moments, Kenzie said she was really into Bryce because he's the only white boy. She didn't say that, but it was implied. And then she kissed him, and it was like she said he kissed like a turtle, and she was not into that, and so that kind of turned her off, and that was pretty funny. And then other than that, like I said, it was really just them making out. She kissed Zach. She really liked that. Didn't really say anything about anyone else. So I'm keeping an eye on you. Hey, rainy day. Don't. Sorry, my cat's doing naughty things. Anyway, so then we go for our first coupling of the season. So we're still using the doors, and all the men are standing behind the doors, and basically all the girls are on the other side, and you go stand in front of the door of the boy that you want to couple up with. And so I don't really like this as much as just the like straight walkover, because there's something about the men and the way that their faces fall, and they're so disappointed when the girl doesn't walk over. That's more gratifying than just watching the door open. So the first up is Bryce's door, and Bryce has Trinity and only Trinity standing behind that door. So they couple up. They are the first couple of Love Island 2026. Applause. Okay, whatever. They said that it's just good vibes, good kissing, good chemistry. All right, cool. Then it's Sean and Beatrice. They couple up, which makes sense. They kiss like a gajillion times, so that was no surprise to anyone there. And then Zach, then it's Casey. Okay, so Casey's there, and Casey's like, I'm feeling so confident, and I really think that someone's gonna be behind that door. I'm not nervous. I mean, I'm a little nervous, but I'm not nervous at all. I'm Mr. Confident Man. No one's there. No one is behind that door, and he is so embarrassed. And then he's like, oh, it's because of the plant thing, because when they were doing dogs, cats, or plants, he was the only person that picked plants, so he didn't get to make out with anybody. And so he has to go sit by the fire pit. And so then it's Zach. And so then when the door opens up and Kenzie is standing there, it's not like Zach is excited to see Kenzie. It is like Zach is excited that someone is standing there, and he doesn't have to look like a total loser like Casey. Like, he's not into Kenzie. And he basically is going to tell her that very quickly. And so that would leave Sincere with both Melanie and Anaya. Okay, and so he kind of wibble wobbles, and then he ends up picking Melanie, which means that Anaya and Casey couple up. So those are our couples. We've got Bryce and Trinity, Sean and Beatriz, Zach and Kenzie, Casey and Anaya, and Sincere and Melanie. And so then they kind of do like the after the night chats. Not a ton here. I would just say, Bryce and Trinity figure out that there's an age gap between them. That he's almost 30 and she's 22, and they both almost instantly get the ick from that. They like still kiss and like kind of make out a little bit, but you can tell like the vibe is dead. Then I would say the best moment was with Sean and Beatriz, because he's like, I love country music, I love line dancing. She was like, ew. And he was like, no, but what would you do if we're in the truck and I like put on country music? She was like, she said, I will literally give myself a second disability and make myself deaf rather than listen to country music. And I was like, Science Field delivered. This is my queen of the season. No one is going to be this fucking funny, dude. Zach and Kenzie have a conversation where Zach is like, yeah, I've never dated a blonde and I typically like girls with dark features. And then Kenzie is like, where are you from? And he's like, England. And she's like, no, but like, where's your family from? And he's like, well, my mom is from Australia. And she's like, no, but like, where is your dad from? And he's like, England. And then she's like, and he's like, I mean, we're like Greek blooded. We're Greek blood. I get we're Greek. Like, is that, she's trying to say, what kind of white are you? Because you're not my kind of white is really what she's getting at here. So it's just problematic. And she's on my fucking list. Okay. And Casey and Anaya, it's actually giving like BFF vibes. Like it could grow into something kind of like friends to lovers vibes. I could see it working out by the end of the day too. It gets locked in. It's actually pretty good. Sincere and Melanie, great vibes, great chemistry. They both like the Eagles. They're both East Coast, and they just keep on saying like, oh, you feel so familiar. You feel so familiar. So it's like, it's really good vibes. Then they break out. They do the girls talk, boys talk. Boys, Zach is like, I don't like this girl, and so I'm letting her know that in a gentle way so I don't look like an asshole when I jump ship. And she's over there like, I don't know. But I do like him. And she's already admitted she gets in too deep. And she's needy when she's in love, so it's going to be a disaster. And then the girls talk. B does find out that Sean has a child and is like, red flag. In the real world, I would never date someone with a child. Like, no thank you, which that's fine, go off, queen. Then night one, there's like no cuddling, no making out. They just like pop into bed and that's it, which is fine but not very exciting. So they sleep and then it's morning. The guys make the girls breakfast. Nothing to report there. It's pretty mid. There's some kissing, whatevs, and then they pretty much just fast forward us right into the nighttime section, which is I'm going to call it a confirmation of the couplings to enter in the bombshell. So they bring back the doors, and it's like you have the doors, and you have two dots. So there's like a green dot, and you stand on that dot if you want to stay in your couple, and then there's a red dot that you stand on if you are open to exploring new connections. And so, you can't see your partner on the other side of the door, so they all get on their dots. And then she's like, well, Ariana's like, everything is gonna change when it changes, and it's changing right now because you're about to get to know our new bombshells up close and personal. And so the bombshells come out, and this is where we meet Gabriel, who was in the original Meet the Cast video, but I think got delayed as a bombshell because of that girl that said the N-word and had to be disappeared. So Gabriel and what's the other bombshell's name? Kata. And Kata come in, and Gabriel, he is Brazilian. He is a self-proclaimed bad boy, and he shows it by kissing with more tongue than I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So if Zach is kissing like a turtle, that would mean that Gabriel is kissing like either an anteater or a giraffe. If you've ever seen either of those two animals eat, I think that would be the equivalent. I mean, he gets in there. He is like kissing on the side of the face. Honestly, he looks like he's fun to make out with if you like that much tongue. Like, I could see the appeal. And then Kata does a good job. She goes in And so just so that we're all on the same page, so I'm so tired. Beatrix and Sean is like, no, I want to stay with her, and that girl is like, see you later, Tater. So she red dots it. Kenzie is like, no, I want to stay in this couple. Crazy girl, you knew he was gonna leave you and you still did it. And Zach is like, yeah, I'm outie. And then Bryce is like, yeah, I want to explore other things, get me out of here. And Anaya and KC stay. Oh yeah, Trinity wants to explore as well. And then Melanie and Sincere both want to stay. And so with that, the bombshells lead off. It's kind of pairs off nicely. It's 2 and 2. So Gabriel takes Beatriz and Trinity off to what I assume is going to be an offsite villa hangout for next episode. And then Kata does the same thing, and she takes Zach and Bryce. And I am telling you right now that Kenzie next episode is going to absolutely spiral and probably say some crazy stuff like, yeah, she's a cheater. You haven't even known it. 24 hours, girl. We hit the 24-hour mark. You're in a forced coupling. That is not cheating. You're on Love Island. I'm gonna need you to pull it together. I'm mad at her in advance because I already know the shenanigans she's gonna pull. So that was a very long-winded and asinine recap of night 1. I'm hoping night 2 is gonna get a little bit clearer. I'll have more of an iPad format back in front of the fish tank where you can actually see my face and the lighting doesn't go in and out. But this is what we're rolling with. Thank you so much if you actually watched this entire video. Shout out to my wife who has stayed up with me and was the one fast forwarding in the background and also shouting out all the things I forgot. I love you. All right, have a good night. I'll see ya tomorrow.